We're day 2 for us, so we got started Sunday. It's been a blur since the championship game, that's for sure. Just because literally went right out on the road and had a crazy week last week. Our guys had a chance to be off last week, finish classes. It's been a while since we've had a schedule like this because finals have been pushed back a week, recruiting went back a week, and so this is like old school week, bowl prep, where we meet, practice, and then we go recruit, and then we come back, meet, practice, go recruit, come back. So we haven't done that in a while. Normally when we've had this week, it's been dead period. And so it's really just been almost like camp. So our guys are in finals, so we're having to meet and practice around finals and be very strategic with our time. Plus obviously we got to recruit, but it's been good. Yesterday, we started Sunday, and then yesterday was really just all of us, a whole staff day. We really didn't recruit, just full staff day, kind of get our arms around everything. Had a player meeting, and then they kind of got going into their finals. And then today and tomorrow is a combination of meet, finals, practice, recruit, you name it. And then Thursday is a kind of a heavy final day, all recruiting. And then we'll be done and pretty much all ball Friday, Saturday, with maybe some guys going out Friday night to see some basketball games and stuff. So busy week, busy time to get to the dead period, and we'll break out of Clemson next week. Got a bunch of guys that are already graduates, a bunch of guys that are graduating next week. We got a graduation ceremony on the 21st, graduation on the 22nd. We will arrive in Miami on Christmas Day. That'll be kind of, when we gonna have our first team meeting once we break, and then try to have a normal week. Basically, Christmas Day will be like a Monday for us, and then try to have a normal week of prep down there. But it's been busy, but it's been really fun. I'm excited about the opportunity that we have. I'm proud of our team. 10-2 regular season, a good year, a really good year, and 11-2 and ACC champs, a great year. And we got a chance to be 12-2 and have a special year. So that's really what we're trying to do, is accomplish this last goal. And if we do that, it would be a special year. But a lot of work to do between now and then, on and off the field. So excited about getting back going with some practice shells today, full pads tomorrow. We'll get a lot of the heavy lifting done this week, and then kind of taper it down and really try to get the plan done before we get down to Miami. And then, when you get down there, it's really busy. You try to just polish. So excited about that. And then everybody's here, player-wise. The only one that is going to go ahead and go pro is Miles Murphy. I think y'all know that already. Does he put that out? I'm not sure if he's the only one not here, but he's gonna turn pro, and excited for his opportunity. He's going to be a great pro, and certainly appreciate everything he did here, and wish him well. But everybody else is here and ready to roll. Got a few guys in yellow today that, a couple of them just sick, and another one coming off a little minor procedure. Be back here in a couple of days. So in a good spot there. Guys are excited and ready to roll. And obviously everybody heard the news about Coach Mike Leach, and offer our condolences and our prayers to his family, especially his wife. I only had an opportunity to be around him on a couple of occasions. He was on a couple, and he was at Nike school a couple of times, and he was on a couple of the Nike trips with other coaches, and that was really when I had the most opportunity to be around him. Just like you would perceive him, hilarious, great, just a great perspective. And, again, a guy that I haven't spent a lot of time with outside of maybe a social setting, but have always admired. I know a lot of people who know him and have worked with him. And just a guy I've always respected because he's one of the great innovators of the game, and one of those guys that believed in how he did things and really didn't, he wasn't really, didn't really worry about what everybody else thought. He was kind of a pioneer in the way he believed things should be done, and didn't really waver from that. But just college football and football in general, and we'll miss him. And I know he had an impact on a lot of people's lives. So really just want to lift up his family.
Coach, I guess with DJ and Wiles out, you're down to the two Hunters as backups. How will you kind of divide up the reps there?
Yeah, glad we got Hunter. Glad he came on board. He'll be our 2, and he's been the 3 all year, and he'll just move up to 2, and Hunter will be the 3, and then we'll get Trent Pierman a little bit more work. He's done a really good job on our scout team all year, back-to-back Gatorade Player of the Year. I mean, this is a kid that's got some ability, and so he'll get maybe a little bit of work, but so it's what we got.
Did DJ's decision surprise you at all?
No. The only thing, I mean, it's a product of, it's a consequence of the rules the way they are right now. Because he really didn't want to leave. I knew he was leaving, whether he was going to go pro or whatever. He really, wanted to go pro, and I think has just come to the conclusion that he really needs another year. He's got his degree. He's graduating next week. So I knew he was going one way or the other, but he really wanted to finish. He really wanted to play. He wanted to be there with his team. He wanted to be, but the way the rules are set up, it doesn't really allow you to do that because you've got a very little small window here where he's got to figure out what he's going to do. So just kind of is what it is. But thankful for DJ and love him and appreciate him. I mean, he's a graduate in 3 years. He's been one of the greatest kids that have come through here, one of the most respected players and leaders, and he'll be back for the banquet and all that stuff. But I mean, he's a graduate of Clemson, and he's a 2-time ACC champion. And honestly, we probably don't win the division his freshman year without him. Stepping in for us and against BC, and we definitely don't get to Charlotte this year without him. And so I'm thankful for him. He's been a great ambassador for Clemson, and just know he's going to do great things. He's got a lot of great football in front of him, and then really obviously proud of Cade and how he stepped in and how he's grown and developed, and he's had a front row seat to really see the good and the bad of what it's like to be a quarterback at this level, and so. Excited to see him have his opportunity to get his first start on a big stage and compete against a really good team.
I know you haven't been around the guys all that much since the championship game. How do you think they'd handle the transition? Because DJ was such a leader, such a beloved guy among this team.
Great. I mean, we just getting going Sunday. They had last week. They all knew. I mean, they handled it during the game. Everybody handled it during the game. And so it's, these guys are all competitors and they all understand the game. And Cade's an easy guy. It's not like he's some hard personality.
Right.
He's an easy guy to get behind.
Yeah, but Simpson definitely playing the game.
Oh, Trenton's here, but he's hurt. Trenton's not going to be able to play, but it's not because he's not here or going pro or all that stuff. But he can't play. He'd probably be ready in about 3 weeks, but that's probably going to be right about kickoff time or right after. So he missed the game. He was battling the ankle, and then he re-injured it in the championship game. I assume y'all saw him come out of the game, and I didn't think he was going back in, to be honest with you. But he next thing I know, he's over there tapping me on the shoulder saying, "Coach, I got to go." And they rubbed some dirt on it, taped it up, and he finished. And, man, I got a great appreciation for Trenton for that. It's been real easy for him to kind of stay on that sideline. And fortunately, he's not going to have surgery. We thought he might have to have tightrope, but they don't think he's going to have surgery. But it's probably about 3 weeks before he's going to be, ready to play. And but he's here with us and all that stuff, and that's another guy that's not going to be available.
What do you want to see Cade over the next
year? I know what he's doing. I don't know. Has he put anything out on what he's doing, one way or the other?
No.
Trenton?
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, I'll let him do that. So I know what he's going to do, but I'll let him do that.
What do you want to see out of Cade the next 3 weeks? And does anything change when he goes from the backup role to the starting role?
A lot changes. Light gets a lot brighter, and everybody's going to be rooting for the backup. So your mistakes get magnified. If you don't comb your hair right on that day, it gets magnified. Scrutiny gets a lot greater. That just comes with it. But obviously, I mean, we rep our two quarterbacks, equally. So he's always got. But now he's repping with all the ones. He's always gotten some reps, but now he's getting all the ones, and he has to lead now, from out front, as opposed to, not that he's not leading, but he's the guy. And so there's a lot that comes with that. But this kid's been doing this a long time. He's well prepared and ready and excited to have this opportunity.
Now, but what was the conversation like with Miles, and was that a decision you expected from him?
Easy conversation. I mean, he I think contemplated things, whether or not he was going to come back or go pro or whatever, and then whether or not he was going to play in the game. I think all of those things weighed heavily on him. He didn't make a decision on a whim. That's not who he is. He's a very, if you get to know Miles is a very deep guy, and he's got a great family and a lot of support around him, and so he really took his time to think through it. Just we gave him all the information, and that's what we do, and then make a decision and sport decision and keep moving. But not surprised. I mean, he's a great player, and I think will be a pretty high draft pick, and I think he's going to test well and work out well and meet well and all those things, and be a great player for a long time.
With players all over the country opting out of bowl games and aren't playoff games, you kind of have to convince your guys that these are just not exhibition games.